Good Sunday afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my mini sketchbook tour of 2024. This is week number 22. So let's get into it. So this first particular spread are of different subway commuters, and what strikes me about these particular drawings is how I've evolved, if you will, as a sketcher. If you looked at my sketchbooks about 6 months ago, or definitely a year ago, I probably would have tried to pack a lot more information into similar type drawings. But now I'm really comfortable and really content with making simpler line drawings. I think I'm trying to squeeze as much information out of fewer lines that make up a drawing than if I were to cram that head, for example, with a lot more lines to describe his face. But I'm happy with where I'm progressing with these particular types of drawings. Again, carrying that sort of simplicity idea forward in my drawings to this particular drawing, these gentlemen, and there are several different groups of gentlemen at my local shopping mall food court who play backgammon. And this particular scene really caught my attention mainly because of this gentleman. He had a great kind of hook nose, and I wanted to capture that, and then everything else was an exercise in trying to draw groups of people accurately relative to one another, and are they smaller, are they larger, and this was an exercise in that. And looking at this drawing now, I think it was fairly successful for what I wanted to achieve, but in my next backgammon player drawing, I'm definitely going to try to incorporate some of the background to give the viewer, give my spread a sense of what the environment was like. This next particular drawing sort of went the other way on the whole scale, a lot more detail in the face, and it was probably a longer subway ride. That's why I had the time to put all the shadow work in this particular guy's face, also in this guy's face. But looking at this and the first two spreads, I prefer the simplistic approach to conveying people. Fewer lines have greater impact, I think. This particular spread was done at Ryerson University, which is nestled in the heart of Toronto. It's an urban university in downtown Toronto, and they have this great open space, very rare to find in downtown Toronto, but it's the student quad. I call it Ryerson University, but I think they changed the name to Toronto Metropolitan University for some odd reason. But anyways, when I was sitting down having my coffee and eating my donut, I saw this scene in front of me, and I thought it'd make a great drawing if I really emphasized the dark trees in the foreground and then just put down simple line work to describe the background. These big boulders. I think if you've been a subscriber, a viewer of my past sketchbook tour videos, you'll recognize these boulders in the background. And I think it turned out quite well. Sorry about the sirens in the background if you hear them, but I am living in the city. Anyways, I'll definitely be back to this Ryerson quad to draw this particular scene from another angle perhaps, and get a better understanding of how to do this sort of dark foreground with light background. Back to something I love, sketching subway people. This particular lady was sleeping across 3 chairs, and who could resist that type of scene? So I got down to business and put it down on paper. Again, going back to my local food court and drawing this particular group of people at their table. What really strikes me, what really is my favorite part of this drawing are the shoes, how I depicted the shoes. If you looked at my sketchbooks, say 6 months ago, or definitely a year ago, and I were to have sketched a similar scene, I think I would have come in with a lot more detail. With the shoes, I probably would have drawn the swoosh of the Nike or the Adidas like logo if they were wearing those particular brands. But now I'm really content, and I'm really satisfied with the level of detail that or lack of detail in the shoes here, and I think that sort of lack of detail carries on throughout this drawing, except for the camo pattern on this particular gentleman's pants. I think it just becomes too muddied, but overall this this particular drawing has a consistent level of detail right across and makes it a really uniform drawing. So I'm happy with where I left that drawing. This particular gentleman, I tried to draw right after this scene, but I think he sensed, this was his initial, my initial go at him. He was straddled across 3 chairs, reclining there, just watching the world go by, and I think he sensed, with his spidey sense, that I was sketching him or somebody was staring at him. So he turned around, and that was him looking in my direction. I still sketched him though, and he shifted a bit more, and then he got up and left, because I think he definitely was aware that I was sketching him, and he felt uncomfortable about that. But this is the risk of sketching in public, sketching people in particular in public. Sometimes they don't like that and they get up and go, and this is one of those situations. Self-portrait of myself, head-on shot, and then a 3/4 pose. I realized that I'm not really good with the 3/4 pose, so that's probably what I'm going to try to do from now on. Hammer in that 3/4 pose and what I'm really bad at drawing, and try to get better at that particular angle. And the last particular spread of week 22 for 2024 is this. I'm not too sure how to even describe what it is. It's just a sketchbook spread. I drew a golf caddy, and then I thought, why don't I draw my feet on either side? And this actually happened over 2 days, and I left it, that sat just sort of like marinated in my brain, and I thought, archways in the background would be pretty cool. So that's what I did. And yeah, it's a sketchbook spread. It's neither here nor there. It's just random ideas mishmashed together. And sometimes spreads work, sometimes they don't. And I think this particular spread falls in the latter category of not working. But it's out of my system, and I could move on now. So that is it, folks. That is week number 22 of my mini sketchbook tour of 2024. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comment section below. I hope you had a great week. I hope you will have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.